Welcome back to the Green Beans Go channel. It's your host, me, and we are here for our new series, Monday Night Football Promo Roundup. The bad thing is we don't have an official Monday Night Football game tonight in the NFL. That will be next week. We do have a college game, though. Boston College and Florida State. I'm very excited for this one because I think there's an edge. I think there's value. I think there's angles. So we're going to talk about it. Right now, this game is set at a 16.5 spread. This is not the line it opened at, okay? It has seen some tremendous movement. We're going to talk about that next. The total's pretty low, sitting at 49.5, and obviously the money line is adjusted accordingly. Florida State is a pretty heavy favorite. There are two promos we're going to specifically talk about in this video right here. FanDuel's 50% profit boost and DraftKings mystery profit boost, minus 25%, but I can't guarantee yours is the same because I have to log in to actually see the percentage. So you may have more. You're not going to have less. Okay, I have the worst tier possible, minus 25 for a max of $10. You may have 50 for 25, 50 for 10, 25 for 25. So just check, do what you're comfortable with. If you want me to cover other books going forward, please write in the comments right now. And while you're down there, hit the like button because I have changed my mentality. For a while, I have been plugging SoBet for you to pay for my picks. And going forward, we're not going to do that. I'm going to give you all my picks for free on this channel and hopefully start more of a community feel here rather than a touty feel. I kind of hate what I've been doing, and so I have made a decision to change. So hopefully you'll stick around for all of the free stuff and information that I have coming to you. Here's the preview for this game before we talk about the promos. Last year, Boston College was 128th out of 133 college football teams in their pass defense. Now, this is expected points per drop back, which means they were awful. When teams went back to pass, they had a true edge over Boston College, more than 127 other opponents. Okay, that is a massive disadvantage for Boston College in the passing game. Oh, but wait, it gets better. All right, they were bottom 10 in rushes against, meaning teams only ran on other teams, okay, more than Boston College. There were only 6 teams, actually. Okay, they're bottom 6. There was only 6 other teams that people ran more against than Boston College last year in college football. This defense is atrocious, okay? And this is a perfect spot, in my opinion, all right, for value. All right, I'm not saying it's going to win. I'm not saying it's going to hit. I'm just saying as a sports bettor who's done this for a while, I think there's something to look out for. Florida State is going to be eager to rebound more than any team that played this weekend, okay? Obviously, no team's going to rebound unless we're talking about rebounding off of last season, but Florida State got embarrassed last week in Dublin, Ireland, on the road, weird game against an ACC rival, Georgia Tech, who was underrated in the market, I believe. Not so much was Florida State overrated as I think Georgia Tech was underrated, and that is going to be the edge. This game is at home, and like I said, I believe Florida State is undervalued. This opened at 21. It moved up to 21.5, back to 21 even, then up to 21.5, then down to 20. And then after their loss, we see it drop to 17.5. And it's sitting right now. It touched 15.5 at 16.5, okay? What you have to understand about sports betting, and especially sports betting football, are key numbers. If you've done this well, you probably know. If not, here's the thing. There are certain numbers that this is not like NBA where you can get 1-pointers, 2-pointers, and 3-pointers. Points come in 3s and 7s and 6s, okay? 3s and 7s. So for it to cross 21, which is a key number, for it to cross 20, which is a key number, and for it to cross 17, to be sitting at 16.5, moving 3 key numbers just because of a close loss in a game in a foreign country, week 1, against a formidable opponent, an underrated opponent, guys, let's not sleep on this, okay? I know I'm hyping it up, and they could very well win by 16, and all of this was for nothing. But I think there is an edge. My lean would be Florida State minus 16.5. You can get it for 15.5 on Hard Rock. Check your other books because these are the books that I have available that I've checked. This is my options. I don't have a lean on the total because I don't know what Boston College is going to do, considering I think Florida State comes in again defensively strong, trying to prove a point. But I do like Florida State's team total over 33.5. So I think Florida State will pull their weight in terms of the total, but I can't promise Boston College will, which is why I have no lean on the total, which is pretty low, like I said. All right, so let's talk about FanDuel first. I've gone ahead and put the stats up for their game against Georgia State on the left, and I know that this is not indicative of anything. It's not going to necessarily, predict what's going to happen, but there are some things I want to point out. The first is that Roydell Williams was getting the most carries out of the backfield, and I think that this is a guy that they are high on and want to get going tonight and should get going tonight. As far as receiving, their top two receivers last week were Ja'Kai Douglas and Malik Benson. Benson is probably the number one guy, even though Douglas did outpace him in game one. But then the next two highest receivers were running backs, okay? So, pretty standout games for the 1 and 2 right here. So when I think about this game and what I expect to happen, and I very well could be wrong, okay, is I think Florida State comes in and wants to completely turn it around, right? We got embarrassed last week. We didn't score the points we wanted to score. We let our defense do, they are going to come in and want to just run the field with these guys, okay? Mercy rule type energy. Will they be able to do it? I don't know. But I think it's a great matchup with Boston College's soft defense. So here are a couple of plays, different tolerance. I'm going to walk through them, give you some ideas. I know that some of you cannot bet player props in the state you're in on college. So that kind of rules out all of this. So if you can't bet player props, I would just be looking at anything that is, my suggestion would be anything that is pro Florida State. Maybe take the alt line, maybe take minus 20.5, maybe minus 19.5. Maybe you take their team total over, okay? But if you can't bet player props, a couple of things. Either DJ Uguale or Thomas Castellanos to record 300 passing yards. I think DJ will want to come out and get going and sling it. So that is pro for that. But also I think Boston College will be trailing so much and be forced to pass. So he's going to have volume working in his favor. So that is why I like this line, because I think there is an avenue for both quarterbacks to get there. Douglas, Jaden McCowan, and Malik Benson to combine for 4 TDs at 36-1. Okay, probably not something I use my boost on if I have, say, a $25 limit, okay? This may be something I put a few bucks on just for fun. $3 wins $100, okay? And I think that this has some value. I can even see Douglas and Benson getting 2 each, right? And we have a cushion with McCowan. Like I said, that is based on the prediction that I think Florida State comes out very strong, very aggressive, okay? You can also take their lines individually for scoring 2, those receivers, but I've highlighted it. I'll tell you why in a second. Spoiler, the lines are better on DraftKings. Roydell Williams to get 2 at plus 310, I also think is a pretty good price. If you want a more conservative pick, Roydell Williams to have the most rushing yards in the game. He's obviously getting more, or did get more carries the first game, and I think he is the lead back that they want to establish. So I really do like this play for kind of a safe spot for the boost. Let's look at DraftKings. And the reason I, highlighted those last time was because you get better prices. Now, the issue for me personally is I can't get, even though my max is only $10 on this boost, I would not be able to bet $10 on any of these lines. Okay, DraftKings has me limited so badly. So, to me personally, and I'm not going to suggest this is the most mathematically sound thing to do, if I really like Roydell 2, if I can't get, a $10 25% boost on 330, a $10 50% boost on 310, sacrificing the 20 cents of value from DraftKings just to be able to get down at that number is fine with me. Okay, it's marginal. But the 19 to 13, now I'm like, okay, I'd rather play this straight for my limit with no boost than boost this by 50%, which would be which would essentially be even anyway. So don't play. I guess maybe the thing I should say is don't play Douglas on FanDuel, because on boosted it's only going to be what this is anyway. Play this straight, okay? Malik Benson, there's some wiggle room, but again, we can look elsewhere. Well, team total here, Florida State, I said I liked them over 33.5. I don't think they end at 34 just because that's not necessarily a key number. They're more likely to get 5 touchdowns. Maybe they miss an extra point, and I hate myself tomorrow morning. But over 34.5 at plus 105 would be a decent, safe play for this. Last thing I'll say is receiving yards, okay? I think both of these guys have a chance at 100 yards. I'm not going to predict who, but when you're looking at those numbers, 6-1 and 8-1 are pretty tempting. Even 60 for Douglas at plus 230. That's a number he almost cleared last week. He had 55 last week, and Georgia Tech's defense is infinitely better than what they're going to see tonight. So definitely some potential there. even if you don't want to use your boost on it, just playing it straight, I think there's value in that for what I project the game script to end up being. Okay, so again, I know some of you cannot bet player props, so if you can't, my advice would just be find something that kind of dictates Florida State dominating this game offensively and play something around there, because that's what I expect to happen. Okay, like I said, I want this channel, this community, to continue to grow. I feel like I kind of lost my way for a little bit trying to make some money on the back end by touting for a service where you could get my picks, and I don't want to do that anymore. Okay, and I'll have a video about that explaining my decision in a little bit. But for now, okay, if you guys could help me out, liking this video, commenting on it, just saying what you like tonight, just commenting anything, all right? I like to see the same people in the comments over and over. I like to feel like, hey, there's this dude in Iowa who I've never met that watches my videos, man. That's pretty cool. And the biggest thing you do for the algorithm is share it, baby. I mean, look at this guy. He's sharing it with her, and she's watching the channel, right? That is a big... Elon Musk actually tweeted this morning. Not an Elon guy, okay? I probably shouldn't say that. He probably has robots spying on my house, but he says sharing is one of the biggest factors for Twitter's algorithm in terms of what content you like. So I'm sure YouTube has a similar emphasis on sharing. I know you guys have a fantasy football group chat. I know you guys have a degenerate bettors group chat. Send this video to them and say, hey, here's some looks for tonight for your boosts, okay? Let's start being a little bit wiser with our plays instead of making 16 same-game parlays with 8 legs. You miss by 1, and you're crying the next morning when you're pouring your coffee as you go to your 9 to 5, baby. All right? Take care. We will see you. We'll see you every day. We're making a video every day this NFL season, so make sure you're sticking around. We'll see you tomorrow.